one of the roughest Grand National cross-country racetracks in years witnessed one of its wildest finishes. As the top pros battled for the lead, 18-year-old Walker Fowler came from the second row to steal the overall win. And we're set for an even wilder race today. Here we go, folks. Round 9 of the 2011 Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Series. It's the always spectacular Snowshoe GNCC at the Snowshoe Mountain Ski Resort in West Virginia. We're racing at nearly 5,000 feet of elevation this weekend, and we've got surroundings the likes of which you'll never see at any other woods race in the world. Yep, we got a ski resort, so that means all the luxury trappings, condos, hotels, restaurants, heck, even a Starbucks not too far away from the start and finish line area. And if hanging out and drinking a cup of coffee is not your cup of tea, plenty to do for the active sort as well. Can-Am hosting demo rides and drives for their new product. And Yamaha hosts GNCC University at Snowshoe in the days leading up to this event. They take their top ATV and bike pro riders and host a riding school on the actual Snowshoe facility so you can learn how to make moves on real GNCC race conditions. Big thanks to everyone at Yamaha, their top riders, Paul Whibley, Thad Duvall, Randy Hawkins, Jason Raines, Johnny Gallagher, Bill Balance, Taylor Kaiser, Walker Fowler, and the rest for hosting GNCC University. Friends of Cole donating $5,000 bonus cash to the winner of this race. And if racing isn't your thing, you can come and play golf at the spectacular Snowshoe Golf Course. Randy Hawkins and his team taking the win here this year. They are the ringers in GNCC golf. The ringers in GNCC racing, of course, are these fans down in the woods. They're excited. Very treacherous conditions, so they'll be pulling ATVs and bikes out of the mud all weekend long. So much to see and do here. Come and join us live next year. Look at this track. 40 miles. It's almost 4 times a typical GNCC length. And there's the elevation, 48. And we'll go down as far as 3,000 feet during this 40-mile loop. So you've got to be a versatile rider to succeed out here and grab that $5,000 from the Friends of Cole. And to give you an idea of just how crazy this event is, the last 2 years, Brian Wolf has won this race from the back row, not on the front row. And that's how crazy things get. We line them up here a little bit different. We'll start with the engines on and on the pavement. We call it the Blackwater 100 style start, where we start in town the way the GNCC's used to when they started in the 1970s. Little throwback. Let's go racing. There's nothing quite like racing here at Snowshoe. They're going to race through the village and then head down into the mud. Chris Borich leading that front row. Row number 2 off and running. Don Ackerman on the Jet Suspension Honda leads them into the first turn of row 2. Row 3, now we have a couple of the Pro-Am XC2 riders mixed in. Oh, and a collision! Patrick McGuire, Eric Hoyland hooking up, and Johnny Gallagher the victim. They don't teach that at GNCC University, Johnny. That was crazy. They're all filing their way down the mountain. Look at all the fans that come out for this thing. This is a spectacular event. But don't let these conditions fool you. A little bit dusty and obviously not too difficult on the hard-packed dirt. Once we get down to the bottoms, it is going to be as tough comes. There's Gallagher, who's managed to get to the front of that third row group. So I guess the passing lessons that he spoke about at GNCC University did pay off. And you got to watch these third and fourth rows. Like we've said, Brian Wolf came from back there to win this race the last few years. Right now, Chris Borich, no surprise, your GNCC champ, leading the way. And the usual suspects, Taylor Kaiser, Chris Bithell, Adam McGill, right with him. And look at how tough this is. Tree roots, boulders, mud, steep climbs. Just fun to watch. If there's any doubt that these riders are not the best at what they do, just watch how they negotiate these sections. Well, just as I say that, I throw the jinx out there. And now we've got trouble. Now we've got a bottleneck. And And this is what makes this race so crazy. A lot of times riders can come through the back rows because they'll get tangled up like that up front. Oh, and look at this. No surprise. That's Wolf. 341 is taking the lead again. He is the master of Snowshoe. He has not only taken the lead from Boric, but he's already pulling away. The conditions get really nasty. Wolf out of Ohio really seems to excel. You get a couple other riders stuck back there. I think that might be Taylor Kaiser with the Yamaha. Here's Chris Bithell taking advantage of that on the number 4 Warner Can-Am. See how muddy it is down here? Remember, it's a ski resort, folks. These trails have basically absorbed melting snow in the last 2 months, so it doesn't matter what the weather is like. This track is going to be difficult. We're just getting started. Stay with us on Racer TV. Brian Wolf leading the way, looking for a three-peat.
Riders expect certain things from a Can-Am ATV. Groundbreaking technology, responsive handling, and the most power in every class. So why would they expect anything less from a Can-Am side-by-side? Introducing the Can-Am Commander, the most powerful rec utility side-by-side in the industry, with precision handling and the first dual-level cargo box. The facts say it's the most advanced side-by-side ever built, but the ride says it all.
Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am, by Amsoil, by DWT, and by Suzuki. Welcome back to Racer TV. Jason Wygant, your host of this Snowshoe GNCC in West Virginia. And Brian Wolf pulling away Chris Boric on the gas. He does not want to let that number 341 get away from him. We're transitioning terrain here, taking on one of the ski roads before getting back in the woods. There goes Bithell, there goes Ackerman, and there's the always spectacular Adam McGill, who always seems to ride well here. He's good in the tough, treacherous terrain, but he's got some ground to make up after a bad start. There is Johnny Gallagher from that third row. He's actually pretty far up in the overall hunt. 17 of Hoyland was tangled up with him in the first turn, but they have quickly recovered. Speaking of quick, look at Brian Wolf. Last year's XC2 class champion, already won a race in the XC1 class this year, a couple of weeks ago in Indiana, so he is riding with some confidence today, pulling away from Boric, Bithell, Taylor Kaiser on the Yamaha, McGill coming through, Ackerman, and don't forget about this man on the orange KTM, Brian Cook. And we have Kevin Yoho coming through next. Oh, and trouble for our leader! Brian Wolf is stranded here in the woods, and this is where that X factor of the mud fleas, or the fans as we call them, comes into play. They've gotten him back on track. Wolf must have gotten stuck in, I wonder where. How muddy and treacherous can it get? Wait a minute. He just lost forward momentum, and he's looking at the back of the bike. That would lead me to believe he's got chain problems. And indeed he does. No chain on that sprocket, so the good luck streak, it's broken. There it is in his hands, a broken chain. And just frustration, there's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do. The fans can help push, but they don't have chains in their back pockets. Maybe attached to their wallets, but that's not going to work. So there it is. Chris Bithell has taken the lead. And Boric now getting stuck and getting back going. Oh, bitter disappointment for Brian Wolf, who has owned this race the last 2 years. Boric is about to go by his idle machine. There it is. So I don't know if there's any way Wolf can get a fix and get back into contention. Cook has worked his way up to third, so lots of attrition already. Man, this is tough. So Chris Bithell looking to take advantage of the misfortune for Brian Wolf in the lead and pulling away on his Warner Can-Am. Here is the Yoshimura Suzuki of Chris Boric in second. Boric has taken second in this race a couple of times. He's going for championships, and on a treacherous track like this, Boric has said before, he will settle for second and points. You do not want to have what happened to Wolf happen. Broken chain or any kind of mechanical troubles could spell a disaster in the championship. So Bithell wants to take advantage of that. He is putting the hammer down and getting away. And Boric in second takes a look. He tries to figure out where the good lines are. I don't think he can find the leader. Bithell is gone. McGill has now gotten around Cook and moved up to third. Cook going to try to hook up with him and maybe run down your leaders. It is going to be tough. Bithell is on a roll here. Every line he hits is exactly the one he wants. Look at Borch, working the brakes, working the clutch, working the throttle, finding tenths of a second on that road crossing on a 40-mile track. It is amazing as you watch McGill come through. These riders are pushing the pace that hard. I mean, they are racing through every inch of a 40-mile course. That's how competitive it is. That's how fast they're going. Bithell now into the Can-Am pits. Going to refuel the machine. That's his mom there on the left. He's got to be feeling good. One thing the riders don't have to deal with today, the temperatures are actually pretty cool, so fatigue won't be as big of a factor as it could be, but let's be honest. You're racing at this kind of elevation, in this kind of treacherous conditions. What is Borch doing? He's actually reaching into the radiator area of his machine. Must have gotten something caught in there. Fresh set of goggles, and he is underway. But he loses a little bit more time to Bithell, but this is a long race, and it's more of a survival run than anything else. So there's plenty of time to catch up. And there's McGill and Cook still hooked up. They're going to pit at the same time. These guys actually swapped teams 2 seasons ago. McGill used to ride for KTM. Cook picked up that ride, and this time McGill gets out in front of Cook. Cook's going to continue following him. Stay with us.
Current GNCC champion Josh Strang has one thing on his mind: winning. To get him over the finish line first, Josh uses the Suzuki RMZ 450, a precision machine designed to leave the competition in the dust. With its potent fuel-injected 4-stroke engine and race-developed chassis, the RMZ 450 is the complete package that wins championships and collects #1 plates. The RMZ 450, it's why champions choose Suzuki. They win. Head down to your local Suzuki dealer today and see one in person.
Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am, by Amsoil, DWT, and by Suzuki. Welcome back to the Snowshoe GNCC coverage on Racer TV. You're watching the leaders: Chris Bithell, Chris Borch, one on a yellow Can-Am, one on a yellow Suzuki, and Borch has closed the gap since he went to break. And so has the third place rider, Adam McGill, who continues to have fun and gesture towards our cameras. Brian Cook in fourth in contention as well. It's just amazing how technical some of these sections are. As we race up and down the ski slopes at Snowshoe Mountain Resort in West Virginia, Bithell's got something caught on the right side of his machine. Looks like a big tree branch. Well, that'll make this quad a little bit wider and harder to pass. Wow, look at McGill and Cook. They have caught up to Bithell and Borch. So we have a 4-rider fight on our hands. And it is amazing to me, on a track this long, on an event this rough, where a lot of times the riders are just trying to survive, let alone race, that we've got a 4-rider battle for the lead. That's how determined these riders are. Man, McGill was way back at the beginning of this one, and Cook wasn't too far up front either. They have really made up ground. Bithell still dragging that stick around. Borch in second. McGill is all over them, up on the pegs. He looks very comfortable. Let's see if Cook can maintain that pace and stay with McGill and go after the lead. Into the fields we go. These are actually ski runs in the winter. They are way up at the top, 5th gear probably through some of these sections. And there's still not much of a gap between our top 4. Okay, let's check out the highlights of our morning race. Man! Does that look like fun or what? 4-wheel drive, which we race in these morning divisions, definitely helps on a rough track like this. A bunch of other classes out there as well, though. Besides the utility machines, we have the women's racers, the super seniors, and a lot of beginner classes as well. There's a couple of the riders on the Can-Am Renegades of the Utility Unlimited division. But on this course, in the mountains, it's all about 4-wheel drive and all about Michael Swift on the 210, who is leading this thing overall and also is the leader of the 4x4 open class. It's good to have not only 4-wheel drive, but bigger tires and bigger ground clearance on these four-wheel drive machines as well. They run shaft drive instead of a chain, which gives them better clearance, and of course the independent suspension in the back, so they're not dragging a sprocket like unfortunately led to the undoing of Brian Wolf in the afternoon race. Also, they have 25 to 26-inch tires, where the sport machines run 21-inch front tires and 20-inch tires on the back. Michael Swift dominates this one. He is your overall winner of the morning race. And look, it's all Can-Am, all utility machines on the podium this time. Zach Sikowski taking second, and the winner of the U2 class takes third overall. That's Utility Unlimited winner Cliff Beasley. Back to the afternoon race, and the Can-Am still out front here. They're looking to sweep it today in the morning and afternoon. Chris Bithell out front, and now McGill has moved up to second. So what happened to Boric? He has dropped to third. And we have a new contender up to the number 4 spot. That is Walker Fowler on the Yamaha, who won the last race in this series a couple of weeks ago, and he did it coming from row 2. Then it's Cook. So Fowler has moved up to 4th. Fowler started with these guys on row 1 because in this race we line up in order of overall point standings, not by class. Anyway, Fowler started on row 1 and had a terrible first lap and went backwards. He is closing the gap on the leaders, and the leader is now McGill, who has gotten around Bithell. Boric right behind him. Just tree roots, logs, rocks, mud, anything you could ask for, these riders are dealing with. There is Fowler. He's got to actually wait for a fan to get out of the way. Cook closing back up on him, and then Cook almost gets it stuck. Man, this is spectacular. Welcome rest and relief as the riders hit the road, and they're about to start pounding out some more trails. McGill taking the short line, Bithell right with him. Boric right there, so it is tightened back up, but you gotta watch for the kid. In 4th, Walker Fowler wants to win 2 races in a row, and how much ground has he made up in the last half of a lap? He was nowhere in sight, and now he is closed right back up with the leaders. Cook is close as well. This is getting good. Stay with us.
Any engine, any season, at home, at the track, or on the trail. Amsoil, the first in synthetics.
Cast, beadlocked, or spun, the DWT brand has always stood for one thing: perfection. And now DWT means wheels and tires, including the new Moapa utility tires designed for work and play. Then check out DWT's awesome new Sector 3-piece wheel. Dent a rim? Just replace the outer wheel. Plus our full line of competition tires and wheels boxed to match how you race. DWT wheels and tires. Performance, protection, perfection.
Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am, by Amsoil, DWT, and by Suzuki. Battle is on here, stretch run at the Snowshoe Grand National Cross Country event in West Virginia. A pair of Can-Ams out front. Adam McGill, Chris Bithell, second, and third, and stopped on the track is Chris Boric. I don't know if you caught that in the back of our shot, but his machine just came to a halt. And he's barely moving now. What has happened? Coasting backwards shows how deceiving the shot is. They're actually on a hill. This is almost an 800-foot rise on that trail, and you cannot push it. If your machine isn't running, you're not going forward at all. Adam McGill certainly is. He has come from deep in the pack to grab the lead and build up a little bit of distance over his teammate, Chris Bithell, who led this thing at the halfway mark. They're coming through the Can-Am pits. All systems go. They're cheering on their boys, looking for a 1-2 finish today. And this Warnet Racing team definitely took their lumps in the first couple of years on this work. They've obviously got these machines figured out. One rider left to try to knock them off. It's Walker Fowler, who has made a bid from way back in the pack. Here is Cook, still in contention if the leaders make a mistake. I don't know if he'll have time to catch him on pure speed. He's going to need McGill to throw it away. And McGill has proven very consistent the last few years. He used to be the kind of guy that was win or crash, but lately he has been very solid. And now that Boric has rolled through, the report is mud has packed his radiator and caused his engine to overheat. So Boric is not going to be a factor for the win here. And Fowler, I think, is running out of steam and maybe running out of time. He put in a great charge to get inside of the leaders, but down the stretch, in some of the gnarliest conditions, this is like an enchanted forest. I can't believe that trails like this exist on the planet of Earth. Through these mud, over these rocks, through the tree roots, Adam McGill has found something late in the race that no one else can match. His teammate Bithell still running strong in second. Here is Fowler, the young man out of Ohio, in third. Fowler, just one of the greatest talents we've ever seen come through the ranks, a multi-time youth GNCC champ on both an ATV and on a bike. Now focused on the ATVs and doing well. He's third in front of Cook, who is fourth. Here it is, checkered flag coming out, and Adam McGill, West Virginia's own, has won the home race here at Snowshoe, and he is pumped. You can tell he was having a good time all day long, gesturing to our camera crews. And when you can manage to have fun on treacherous conditions like this, usually the results come. Good run for Bithell to take second. And Walker Fowler is going to win the XC2 class for Pro-Am riders and take third overall. Here are the results. Cook takes third in the XC1 Pro class. Fowler wins XC2, as we said, and Taylor Kaiser, Bill Balance, the Yamaha men, just inside the top 10, but I figure they probably wanted more than that. Let's go down to our winner with Krista Shaw. Krista?
Adam McGill taking the win here at Snowshoe. It's your home state of West Virginia. You've got to be feeling pretty good right now.
Holy cow. Yeah, it's amazing. I can't even describe to you what it feels like to be back in the center of the box again. It's my home state in front of all my fans. Is just like, it's a dream come true. I can't, I've done it before, and I had doubts of myself, and to be up here again and make up some valuable points, it's holy cow. I can't even explain to you how I feel right now.
Man, that is awesome, and he's got a reason to be so pumped, because look at this. With Boric finishing 12th today with mechanical troubles with the radiator and the engine overheating, McGill is right there in the championship hunt. Check out the Can-Am race recap, and we'll show you how this race broke down, literally for some. Yeah, it looks pretty easy when you're working your way down these ski slopes and through the village, but it's tough when you got to compete with Brian Wolf, who is the master of Snowshoe, and he got the early lead and began pulling away instantly, looking for his third straight race win here until this. Chain comes off, probably hit one of those billions of rocks or tree roots or what have you, and he was out of the race. Chris Bithell would take the lead at the midway point, but down the stretch, no one had anything for Adam McGill. He was just too tough, too strong, and too solid on this very familiar, rugged West Virginia terrain. He takes the win, leading his teammate Bithell home, and makes up a whole bunch of points on Chris Boric in the series standings. We've got a championship fight in our hands, folks. For everyone at Racer TV, thanks for watching.